my name is Alex, I'm a patchwork nerd, and I have activated my superpowers today. I'm wearing lipstick. In continuing with getting ready for National Novel Writing Month, today we are going to take a look at formulating a plan to make sure that you can be successful for NaNoWriMo. So, let's go. Your plan might be different from my plan based on things like the genre that you're writing, the type of research you need to do, whether you're plotting or pantsing. There's a number of things, but hopefully there is a little bit of something for everyone that you can take away to make a good plan so you can get started with your novel right away in November and be successful. The main thing is to not let little things or big things slow you down during the month of November. NaNoWriMo is all about speed and not taking time to stop and smell the roses. Instead, you gotta just keep going. NaNoWriMo is a marathon and you have to get moving quickly if you want to get to the finish line. At least I think that's how marathons work. I don't run, so I could be wrong. The things we're discussing today are meant to help you keep up that fast pace so you can write all those words you need to and reach your goal. One thing that you can be doing during the month of October is your research. This also connects back to our discussion last week about creating characters and world building. This is your chance to start doing research about things that the characters do, hobbies, personalities, mental traits, all sorts of things that can help make your characters stronger. The more you know, the more you'll be able to write without interruption, and that's the main part about research. It is to help prevent you from having to stop, exit out of your Word document, go onto Google, type something in, and do a bunch of research, and then get distracted for 2 hours. We want to avoid distractions, and research can easily turn into a bit of a crutch for writers. Like, oh, I'm researching how to braid pony hair, so I have to be on Google for 4 hours and then end up watching My Little Pony on Netflix for research purposes. Yeah, totally need to do that. NaNoWriMo is all about avoiding distractions, and getting research done ahead of time will help keep you away from those distractions and keep you locked in on your Word document so you can get those words down. This next tip is going to help you depending on whether or not you are a plotter or a pantser. A plotter is someone who likes to know every nitty-gritty detail of their manuscript before they jump into it. They like to create outlines, they like to have a very set plan ahead of time. I recommend, if you are going to be plotting, to make sure you have a solid outline. I'm not going to go into all the details about how to create an outline today, but just know that you should have plenty of details, so again, you're not getting distracted while creating your novel and stopping to fix your outline. Make sure your novel outline is solid so you can follow it and use it as your roadmap without interruptions. Pantsers are people that just fly by the seat of their pants and go wherever the wind takes them. They are just free spirits and they just trust their novel to guide them and they go. Just because you're a pantser doesn't mean you can't have a plan though. I would like to suggest that you have something that I call the panic plan. The panic plan is for when you get completely stuck for new ideas. You're following along, you're chasing that little idea, and then bam! You hit a brick wall. You don't know what to do next. You feel like your characters are trapped in this little alley and the brick wall's right there, and now the alley's closing in and your story's about to get smashed. Calm down. You feel like panicking right now, but the panic plan will make your life easier. Have prompts ready ahead of time to jumpstart your process again. You can find lots of prompts on Pinterest if you Google them. You can even ask me for some prompts if you want. Also, the NaNoWriMo forum is a great place to get inspiration. There are actually dare forums where people will dare you to include certain items or objects or people in your story, and that is a great way for you to jumpstart your story if you get backed into that brick wall. So have that panic plan and have an idea of what you can do if you get stuck and you can't come up with any new ideas, because sitting and racking your brain is going to not only stress you out, it is going to slow you down and hurt your word count. And finally, I suggest having a plan for when your mind decides to play games with you. Be ready for ideas to change and shift, and this can happen to people that both plot and people who pants. Sometimes things just aren't working and you have to run with it. But the important thing is not to turn around and not to go back in your manuscript. You do not look at that stuff till December. Even then, I recommend waiting till January. leave that old stuff alone. But if something feels like it needs to change, like a character needs to change, the perspective of the story needs to change, a major plot point needs to change, that's okay. Just keep writing as if the change has happened. Don't turn around and try to fix everything before, because that is going to just mess up your word count and it is going to slow you down. And in case you hadn't picked up on it, slowing down is the opposite of what you want to do for NaNoWriMo. Instead, take a couple minutes, half hour if you really need it, and journal, make some notes about the changes that you're going to implement and the things that you have to go back and change eventually when it's time to worry about that. Or go in your Word document and use the little note feature and make a whole little document explaining to yourself, this is what I'm changing about the manuscript and this is what I need to eventually go back and do. That way you have peace of mind that you have an idea of where you're going, but you can continue moving forward. So don't be afraid if things need to change or have to change, especially when you're writing in such a condensed amount of time. Sometimes ideas change a lot faster than they would when you're writing a novel in a long amount of time. So just be ready for the mind games. Be ready for your brain to all of a sudden decide to switch gears. If you're prepared for those things to happen, you're gonna be a little less panicked. And there you have it. Those are my tips for helping you get a nice solid plan ready to go for National Novel Writing Month. I will be continuing this series next week with more tips for Preptober, so please stick around. Or if you want to make sure you don't miss any videos, hit that happy little subscribe button down below. I post new videos on Mondays. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave those for me down below, or you can tweet me at PatchworkNerd. Also, feel free to join me every Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for Writer's Patch, where we talk about writing with fellow writers and have a grand old time, and usually I throw cinnamon rolls metaphorically at people. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Toodles! Do you guys want to see something cute? While I record,
He supervises. Yeah, you do.